What's going on, Sports Nation? Welcome back to another college football syllabus video. Today, we're going to discuss the top teams that were snubbed from the playoffs. I got my boy Nate with me. We're going to jump into this together. Y'all ready?
Let's rock. Let's talk playoffs. We are 1 week away from the final playoff ranking. Conference championship weekend is going to tell us a lot here, but right now I've got some big time snubs. I'm going to start off with Vanderbilt. I have been pounding the table for Vandy all year. I think that people are anti-Vandy just because their name is Vanderbilt. They're not one of those powers that you think of year in and year out. But this Vandy team is good. They've only got 2 losses. Neither of them was a bad loss. They lost to Alabama and they lost to Texas. Diego Pave is as exciting a player as there is in the country. And this Vandy team is really, really good. Clark Lee's building a great team. I don't understand why they're 14th. I'm glad they at least finally jumped ahead of Utah. It was a disgrace that Utah was ahead of them. This is where it gets weird because Texas is ahead of them in the rankings. Texas has 1 more loss. They did beat them head-to-head, but the committee has showed that they don't really care about head-to-head rankings, as we'll see with Notre Dame and Miami. So that's kind of weird to me. Honestly, I don't think Miami should be ahead of Vanderbilt. Yes, Miami has that signature win that they can hold on to. That's going to be their trump card if they want to try and make it into the playoff at all. But the Miami losses, it doesn't do it for me. I think that Vanderbilt should be higher. I think that Vanderbilt should have a legitimate chance to make it to the playoff. Unfortunately, it's not. It's a great season, but I think Vanderbilt should be looked upon a little bit more favorably.
Oh, I'll give you 2 reasons. One, you're right. They haven't played anybody that actually mattered and won. But I will say this, though. If they had the exact same resume for, say, a Notre Dame or a Alabama, you're 100% right. They'll probably be in the top 10 team. And I think that brand ability does matter. It's not fair, but it does matter, unfortunately. And secondly, I'll pick up right where you left off. Head-to-head scheduling games and wins and losses. Miami needs to be ahead of Notre Dame. Do I think Miami deserves a playoff spot? We can debate that. I got my next pick coming up. We could debate that head-to-head, but they definitely deserve to be better than Notre Dame. Now, I know Notre Dame has looked much better. I will say that. But that game was on the schedule. Unless we're doing preseasons, all of a sudden that L on their schedule to Miami still exists, and Miami has to be ranked ahead of them. And quite honestly, this is pretty. It's mind-boggling how do these people even watch the games? The game happened on the field. I don't understand. Who else you got, Nate?
I'm with you there, and this is a weird one, and it's kind of dumb, but the committee has always been. It matters when you lose. And I know I'm not saying that I agree with it, but that's how they operate. It's always been like that. You lose at the beginning of the season. It's easier to put that in the rearview mirror and move past it and say, hey, look how hot we are. And as opposed to a team that loses recently. I will say Notre Dame, people are not going to like a quality loss argument, but they do have the 2 of the best quality losses that there is. They've also beaten they beat USC. USC is ranked 16th in the most recent playoff rankings. It's not like Notre Dame hasn't beat anybody. What has Miami done in a really, really, really bad ACC? Speaking of a really, really, really bad ACC, my next snub is a team that is going to be relying heavily on the ACC and still might get done over bad by the ACC. I'm going with the James Madison Dukes. JMU has 1 loss on the season. That 1 loss was early in the year against Louisville on Friday night. It was a close game. Mind you, this is the same Louisville team that beat Miami, not a bad Louisville team by any means. JMU lost a very close game without their quarterback at full health. He was coming back from surgery. He's back now. This is a different JMU team than we saw then. I'm glad the Dukes are finally ranked. It's about time that they at least sneak in, even if it's all the way down at 25. But why is it a done deal that the American champion is getting that group of 5 spot as opposed to JMU? I know that they don't have any signature wins, so to say, on their schedule, but what signature wins does North Texas have? What signature wins does Tulane have? Tulane got curb stomped by Ole Miss, and they lost to a bad UTSA team in conference. North Texas got dog walked by South Florida, which that doesn't look like the same loss that it did when that game happened, when we thought USF was a lock to make the playoffs. I think it's ridiculous that we're sitting here talking about JMU not making the playoff as a 1-loss team with that 1 loss to a power team in Louisville. Also, there's rumors. I don't want to say there's rumors, but there's definitely people whispering that no matter what happens, even if Duke pulls off some nonsense in the ACC championship, that Duke would still get in over JMU. I would lose my mind if a 5-loss garbage team in Duke, that also this Duke team lost to Tulane, just throw that out there too. I would lose my mind if Duke gets in over JMU, but regardless of that, it's a joke that JMU is still having to fight with these AAC teams, and it's a done deal that the American champion is going.
First off, the Cows are never a lock to win anything. Let's get that settled, all right? USF can't win. Now,
Yeah, you can't win either.
well, yeah, fair. I guess you're right on that one. But I will say this, though. You're 100% right. If a 5-loss team gets in the playoffs, what are we doing? Why even play the game? Just put it on paper. You got the highest recruit, just have a made-up season and play a computer-simulated year. I don't know. That's insane to me. I agree with you 100%. Not that I don't think JMU is one of the best teams I've ever seen, but they struggled against the same Washington State team that Ole Miss struggled against. So they got some credibility, and it's not like you said Louisville isn't a trash team. They're decent. They're not great, but they're a decent team.
Virginia also struggled against that same Washington State team. I was at that game. Virginia won on a safety with a minute left after having to come back in that game. A lot of teams struggled with Washington State. JMU got the win. I can only say so much about the Dukes, but give me your last snub right here.
And the entire college football world is going to agree with me, except the SEC fans and maybe the Notre Dame fans. BYU. We have been at it for 2 years now. I saw a stat recently. It said that they are the only 11 team that have not been ranked in the top 10 in the playoff era. That's insane. And it's not like a
done. Who have they beat? What have they done? What has BYU done to deserve to be there? Oh, they haven't.
The same argument you're making for Vandy, you can't make for BYU. That's crazy. They beat ranked teams. And here's a stat for you. They have 6 wins with teams that have at least 7 wins. You know where that places them in the nation? Number 1, ahead of Alabama, ahead of Georgia, ahead of any of these playoff teams.
I don't care about beating mediocre teams. Oh, congrats on beating a bowl-eligible team. Beat a good team. Beat a real team. Yeah, BYU, you can be the best of the teams that beat those mediocre teams that just make it into a bowl game. That doesn't matter. Beat good teams. What has BYU done when they played a good team? They beat
as a former Florida State attendee, were you saying the same last year?
More than 1 year ago, but again, that was a different playoff.
Come on! Wins have to matter. It's not like they beat up on the American or maybe the Sun Belt. They played good teams.
Kind of similar to those conferences.
And not at all. Big 12. The disrespect for Big 12 is insane. But guess what? BYU still has a chance. They win, they're in. And quite frankly, they should be in even if they don't win, because I'm sure if Alabama loses, the playoff committee is gonna make an argument that postseason, the conference championship really doesn't matter. Well, then we can make the same argument for BYU. You stack their resume up. I'm not saying they should be ranked number 1, but you stack that resume up against Oklahoma, against Notre Dame, against Miami. It's not even close. It's not even close.
I hear you. I get where you're coming from. The one solace they can take from it is they do still have a chance to control their own destiny and make it to the playoff. All these other teams that we've named so far, they're not in control of their own destiny. They're at the hands of the committee at this point. BYU is the one of these 4 teams that can go out there this weekend and win, and they're in. JMU, not necessarily the case. Vandy, obviously, season's done. Miami, season's done.
And let's close it up with these closing words. You got anything, Nate?
I got nothing except let's see what happens on Friday night. Let's see what happens Saturday, and then strap in. I'm banking that we're still going to get some chaos with these final rankings come Sunday.
Man, these committees, I don't even know. We might be better off with the BCS, but I want Duke. Give me the chaos. I need it.
We'll see what happens, my friend.
Peace.